Good. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, it was, I think, 2009 when Daniela and Roger were here. And when I met Daniela, it's a lot of fun to share this with you. It was a very short notice, so I haven't prepared much of a presentation, only a few slides to give context. As you know, I am in Peninsula Valdez now, in Puerto Piramides. Of course, it's windy, very windy. This is Patagonia, and Patagonia is windy almost always, except for very few days. And those days are absolutely magical. And you can see a few of those days on the photos that I'm showing now. Roger began the Southern Right Whale program technically in 1971. He came to Argentina in 1970 for the first time, and he realized that he could identify the right whales from their callosities on their heads. And as speaker said before, that was a discovery of paramount importance for whale research or for animal research in general. The catalog that he began now contains over 4,200 animals. And at present, it's Vicky Roundtree from Ocean Alliance and University of Utah, and myself from the Instituto de Conservación de Ballenas, the Whale Conservation Institute in Argentina, who co-direct the program. Let's see the next slide. Well, I mentioned the callosities, you know this, but it's just to show you the detail of a callosity. This feature is what allows us to tell individuals apart. People here call them the rocks on their heads. They look like rocks to many people. They're the home of Siamid populations, and that's what helps us to identify individuals apart. Next, please. In the past, photos were black and white photos that were developed in a small dark room that is still here at Whale Camp. And I spent many hours in that small dark room developing black and white photos until we started to use digital photos. And now we use the software that helps us to identify animals. You see on the left the diagram of a typical callosity pattern, and on the right, different individuals that are being processed with this software. And this is how we do the work now using this software that has allowed us to build this catalog with 4,200 animals at present. The next one. This year is sort of landmark for 52 years since 1971 until last year. We did the surveys just like Roger did them in the 70s and 80s. Basically, this is the photo that you see on the left. You see a right whale and the shadow of a plane, of a Cessna, passing over the animal. Roger began doing these surveys from a plane in 71. And in the 90s, I joined the team. And since the early 2000s, I've been doing the surveys together with John Atkinson and assistants from here from Argentina. But last year, we decided to change from the plane to the drones. And you have all talked and heard about drone research a lot this morning. The photo on the right is a photo of the new dynamics, a drone flying over a mother and her calf. And with it this year, basically, we finished 2 days ago with the first ever drone-based photo identification survey in Peninsula Valdez. So it's a big year for us because we have changed the methods dramatically. We have not changed the objectives. The objectives are still the same that Roger saw in his big head in the early 70s. We are still photo identifying animals to learn about their population dynamics, their biology, their behavior, their movements, migration, feeding ecology, and many other things based on photos of known individuals. But now, for the first time, we're doing this using drones. If we fly the drones from the shore and also from a small boat. The next one. This picture is from 2 days ago. from the 13th of September. This is Gulf of San Jose. On the left, you see the cliffs in the background, and a bit more to the left is the very famous whale camp that Roger built in 1973. So we did the survey in the first good weather day in many, many, many days. It was a perfect day. As you see on the photo, you see the small boat in the background and the mother and her calf resting at the surface. We flew 9 days from September 1st to September 13th. We did 25 drone flights, and we photographed 76 mothers and a total of 220 whales. I'm just giving these numbers not because the numbers are important, but because I just thought about Roger almost on every flight that we did, and every time a drone was hovering over of those 220 whales, I was thinking about him and thinking about the responsibility that is with me as the director of the scientific program now in Argentina, and with the whole team, making this big change from what he started in the 70s to what we are doing now. It's a big responsibility, and I am happy and proud to continue this work that he began in the 70s. The next one, please. I'm getting a bit emotional. This was my birthday last year. My birthday is on 9/11. Sorry, not my fault, but it's 9/11. So it was my birthday this week. But this photo is from my birthday last year. We had an encounter with this right whale, a young whale, a female, that stayed with us around that boat for maybe 2 hours. We just couldn't move. The whale was there all the time with us, being curious and loving her partner, because in the middle of this sighting, a male came and they copulated. I'm not kidding. I don't know, 5 feet from the boat, and they stay there with us, and it was an absolutely perfect day. On my birthday last year, Roger was still with us. On my birthday this year here in Peninsula Valdez, he's not here with us physically anymore, but he has been really, really present with every encounter I had with the right whales here. If you can show the photo I sent you, I will finish with that photo. This is one of my favorite photos ever. In 2013, we filmed a documentary, Jane and Payne. And you know both of these people, I'm sure. Roger sitting on one side, Jane sitting on the other side of me. If you notice, both of them have a hand on my legs. We are sitting on a whale bone. It's a jawbone. This is the porch of whale camp in Peninsula Valdez. The house is pretty much the same as it was in 73 when Roger built it and when he lived here with his family. And we really have done our efforts to keep it the way it was for all these years. We still live by candlelight at night. We have a generator, but we don't use light bulbs. We keep the lights, only the candles light at night. We hear the sounds of whales. The house is on the beach almost, and with calm nights and high tides, the whales sleep with us. We hear them snoring, we hear them breathing, and I still hear Roger's voice on this porch, sitting there with Jane, telling me about the present, about the future. We spent almost a week there together, and we talked about the important things and the urgent things, the immediate things that we have to do to save the animals, the long-term things that we have to do to save these animals. I learned a lot from both of them. The first whale I saw when I arrived to the peninsula in August was at sunset. The tide was high. It was the mother and her calf. And the very first thing I felt, it wasn't something that I thought. It was something that I felt. It was the first whale that I was seeing without Roger in this world. And I felt a mix of sadness and happiness at the same time. But then it was all happiness and peace. I had the fortune to talk with Roger 2 days before his passing in June. And I want to close with this. I want you to know that he told me, please, Mariano, tell the world that Peninsula Valdez is my heart's home. And I said in Spanish, so you mean la casa de tu corazón. And then I just corrected myself, because casa is house, but he said home. So I said, okay, no, not la casa, el hogar de mi corazón. And he said, yes, sí, el hogar. Yes, please tell the world that Peninsula Valdez, Argentina, and the southern white whales there are my heart's home. And I want to close this talk with those words from him that he told me only 2 days before he left us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariano.